This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everybody, it's Linda Hall, your co-host from 19 Cats and Counting. We are so excited because we have a country recording artist with us, Callie McCullough, who writes amazing music from her heart. She loves cats, she's funny, she's cute as a button, and I have about a zillion questions for her that are going to be really hard to fit in this time frame. So if you'll just hang on till we're back from this sponsored ad, I will introduce you. We'll be right back.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am your co-host, Linda Hall. I am here with my co-hostess with the mostest, Rita Reimers.
I'm here. And if anyone's keeping count again, 19 Cats and Counting is now 18.
Yeah.
I lost Mimi this week. And those of you who've been listening, you know Mimi was a cat that was going to be euthanized by her owner because he didn't have time to handle her medical needs. So I took her in. We only got about 5 weeks together, but I was able to get her some good medical care and ease her. In her transition over the Rainbow Bridge, I actually let her previous owners come and say goodbye.
Yeah.
Too,
and she had a wonderful 5 weeks with you. And
we are 18 now. Of course, the name of the show will stay the same because Linda and I are aiming to have 19 cats total.
Between us combined, yes. Yes.
But tell us who we're talking with today.
Okay, I'm stinking dying. So, do I admit that I'm not normally a country music fan, but I had to play her music, to check her out. And I think that I love her.
Yeah.
We won't tell her.
I think she knows now.
Oh, well, and I'm kind of like, the more I dug into her, the more like low-key obsessed I got. So like, I don't know. I don't think she's a restraining order yet, but it may be in the future. So
I have her YouTube up behind me. I was listening before we started, but
yes,
let's talk with Callie.
Yes, hi, Callie.
Callie McCullough, if you've missed who we're talking
Yes, we're so glad you're here. And we got the biggest, before we hit record, we got the biggest compliment ever. She was more excited about this than CMT, okay? Yes, girl.
I don't think you were supposed to say that.
I was just like, ladies, this is the best day of my life. I've been talking, ever since Gail told me about this. I've been telling everybody I know, I'm like, you guys, you don't understand. I'm going to cat show this month. And Gail was like, okay, well, we have Billboard on this day. I was like, but what day are we doing the cat show?
When is the cat show?
Where's your kitty?
Yeah, we lost Kitty. So
when you guys are watching the video, you'll
Kitty. But yes, if you have a wand toy, that will bring the kitty. Yes, without a doubt.
Can't see, but she's actually right there. She is. Kitty, don't you?
Yes.
How did she enter your life, Callie?
Well, Kitty comes with quite a little story, don't you, baby? She's a bit of a biter. So I had a friend in town who's a full-time music producer. And so what had happened was that he was driving down the road on the way to a big studio session that day. And he saw a pickup truck throw this little fluff ball, no idea what it was, out on an 8-lane interstate. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
This guy's got the softest heart of gold, pulls the car over to the shoulder, gets out, and grabs this, it doesn't know what it is, grabs it, goes, this is a cat, puts it in the car, rolls into the Walmart, gets some cat stuff, takes this baby cat to the studio, and is like, I guess I have a cat now. Has a bunch of
And that's how you get a cat, folks.
Has to keep the baby separate from the dogs, is in the middle of moving, like all of things are going down. And we'll shout him out. His name is Jay Took. He's a producer here in Nashville. And we've just known each other for years. Actually, we're both Canadian. And so my girlfriend, Molly Brown, who's an amazing artist, also has a cat. Maybe you'll get to talk to her.
I was going to say, we'll have to check into Molly.
Yeah, on the show
Billy
too.
Nelson, the redheaded stranger. Molly got a cat a couple years ago. I'm over at Molly's house, perhaps into some herbal substances, having just a chill evening. She comes home from the studio with Jay. She was like, Jay has this little black kitten and he can't keep her and nobody will take her. And Callie, you should get this cat. I'm high as a kite. And it was summertime. I was having some health things, so I wasn't on the road. And I was like, I should get that cat.
Sure, I'll take the cat.
I go, talk to me about your cat. And 12 hours later, I brought her home. And she was so little.
I bet.
She was so tiny.
How old is she now?
I think she's approximately like 8 to 10 months. We couldn't quite figure it out.
I was going to guess about 6.
Failure to thrive thing going on.
Yeah.
So when I brought her, she was so tiny. She was covered in like fleas. Sick little baby. And
I hate when people throw the cats out, though. I mean, don't do that. There's no reason to hurt them.
Like creepo, like religious, like black cat situation.
Oh,
yeah. She was so tiny because he'd had her for a month by the time I got her, and she was so tiny that like she had to have been from a litter that they'd had.
Yeah.
And so we don't really know what the story is, but she had a foster dad. Now he taught her to bite hands, so mommy's still working on that.
Yes, we'll do a session with you so we can
Yeah.
stop that
Yeah.
behavior
Yeah.
before it becomes
Working on the
permanent.
biting, but now Kitty and I are living together I'm going to have this cat when I'm 50.
Yes.
course you
Yes. That's it. Yes.
Kitty and I are going to be together for the next 20 years.
Yes.
I love that you said that because a lot of people don't realize it's a commitment. It's really a
Long
commitment.
term. Yes.
I'll never, ever be lonely again. I can't even brush my teeth alone.
No, I love it. I know that
We understand
story.
that. My favorite is going into the bathroom and, getting comfy on the commode to, take care of business. And then somebody's like plopped on my lap and I'm like, this is a private time. Can we discuss this?
Yeah. Didn't my sweetie pie do that to you?
So Kitty sits on the edge of
Yes.
the bathtub. Like if you take a shower, she watches you brush her teeth. She's sitting on the sink. I think she's part Siamese or Oriental because she's extremely like bonded, like codependent. Like she's obsessed with me. And if you're in the house and you shut her out of the room you're in, she loses her mind.
Oh, yeah. She
Oh,
won't have
yeah.
that.
More than 3 feet away from me if I'm home.
Is she talkative? Because Siamese tend to be
Well,
very
right
talkative.
now she's she's
Oh.
very meowy.
Mhm.
But tomorrow's her big day at the vet, and mommy has to get her fixed.
Oh,
I'm really worried.
I know, it's hard. I always worry.
is.
Well, but first she's getting an ultrasound because Kitty I could tell you about her big adventure.
Tell us about her big adventure. Was it a bad adventure?
She go find a boyfriend.
That's what I'm
Kitty's
thinking.
an indoor cat because she travels on the road with mommy. She goes everywhere with me.
Aw.
And so she has to be an indoor cat. But
Yes.
just otherwise she'd want to make a break for it. So I'm like loading guitars and she busts out the back door.
No.
This was November 9th, so about a month ago. And sometimes she would come outside while I was barbecuing, but she'd never go more than 3 feet away because she's so codependent.
Yeah.
Busts out. She's gone for like 5 hours. I'm out there middle of the night. It's like cold. It's like snowing. I'm going, Kitty, come on. I'm so worried. I'm trying to get this cat in for 5 hours. I'm like out there in a parka. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like doing the whole thing. It's like 2 a.m. Finally, I give up and I decide to just leave my back door like a crack open
Very
in
good.
like downtown Nashville. I'm like, well, this isn't safe, but I have no choice.
But my cat, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not in bed for more than 5 minutes, and who should jump up on the end of the bed but Kitty with a puffed up tail and a certain kind of look on her face. And I was like,
Oh, no.
Mommy knows that look. Mommy invented that look.
Little romance.
Yeah,
Little evening
and
stroll.
She's going to have a little ultrasound before
Before
the
her spay.
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah.
Because, well, part of me is like, now I have a very busy winter schedule and I have to go on tour. So while it wouldn't be opportune to have kittens, at the same time, Mom kind of wants to have kittens because think about this. I think with the little babies, and
I
could
get
name
it.
one Muriel. I always think Muriel is a good name for a cat. and I could
like
raise her little babies and we could home them.
I know.
Yes.
And
There's.
Well, and who wouldn't want one of Callie
was just
McCullough's
thinking
cats,
that.
right?
I'm really on the fence about what I want the result to be because
I
it's
know.
I
not
know.
going to be very practical for my
There's
life.
so many cats and kittens in the shelter, but if she is, I get it.
I'm
get that
trying
you
to
wouldn't
imagine
wanna-
you taking a mother cat and her kittens on the tour bus as you're
No.
traveling around.
You couldn't do
Like
that.
here's the thing: if she's already halfway through her pregnancy, like, don't you think it would be bad for her if I she has to know
Oh, yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sure she knows.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
babies, and
Yeah.
then she could have the babies, and I could raise the babies, and it would be the best.
I love you.
Ideally, she's not pregnant, but like if she is, I'm going to let her have the kitties.
It's going to be amazing. Yes. It's so exciting. And you should name them like after, let's see, we'll name one of them Pearl after
Yeah,
$5 pearls.
That's what. So my co-writer Scotty, he was like, "Well, you have to name one Pearl."
If one of them's
Yes.
black, you have to have a midnight.
I love that song, $5 pearls. I like every teenage girl needs to hear this song. Like, you're good enough, doggone it. Doesn't matter what you got. It's about you.
Right.
It's sort of, it actually came up again recently. Just in a conversation I had last night, and I actually had that moment where I was like, wow, did that just happen again? Am I not past this yet? But it's like, I think I've spent my whole life thinking like I should be the sweet girl and the quiet girl and the ingenue and the little wallflower girl, and like, have you effing met?
I was going to say,
You're not
honey,
a wallflower for sure.
Like,
You're
it's just not who I am. And I just,
No.
and it's like, I don't know, like my mother was always like, no, you be you. Like, it was never
Yeah.
She's right.
good mama.
from my family. So I don't know where I got it, but sort of a theme throughout my life is, you're too much, your personality is too big, you're too loud, your hair is too crazy. Like, it's all just too much,
Crazy hair, I know. Everybody
Yeah,
wants me
well,
to
and I've got
straighten
the
it.
mouth, so yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had this friend who was just really calm and zen, and like she taught Tai Chi classes, and she always spoke like this, and it was so calming, and I thought, I want to be like her. Honey, it ain't in me, okay? You can hear me from 80 miles away. We could probably do this thing without Zoom. She'd be like, I hear you in Nashville.
I know.
It's just
Sometimes
not-
I have to shout to get a word in.
like, it's not who I am. And I think I definitely spent a lot of years trying. And then, in the last year and a half, I've really kind of given myself permission to put it down. But, it came up again last night, and it shocked me because I almost cried when I had the conversation. And I just thought, wow, I'm still really here, And it's like, so anyways, that song is like the most personal thing I've ever written. It was true story, and it wasn't the person I was dating. It's the way that I felt.
I think media has a lot to do with these young women growing up thinking they have to be a certain way or please everyone.
Yeah.
Well, and you've kind of been in the limelight forever, right? Like, you come from this musical family. Like, weren't you in a group with your mother? Did I catch something like that? Yeah.
My mom and I actually toured all over North America for about 7 years.
Wow.
So yeah, no, I started playing shows by the time I was 14, but I started kind of growing up backstage from the time I was about 3 years old.
So you're comfortable. You're comfortable around this.
Oh yeah, like it's completely, like when I went to school and I realized that other people's parents had normal jobs, I was like, oh.
How boring,
Oh,
right?
You don't travel, and yeah. But I love that whole musical family. Like, my family is not in the business of being musical, but like my mom plays the piano, and she would sit down and play, and her sister and her husband and all 4 of their kids, I had to do a quick count, 4 of their kids are all really musical, and they come over and they'd sing. And my father and I are the ones that, I mean, I won't break glass, but I definitely will not be getting a contract. And so it always
I
bothers
would
me.
break glass.
And my sister's got this amazing voice, and I was always like, I want that. And I love doing the sing-alongs, and I think families that come together and sing together are so cool. So what an awesome gift for you.
She does this thing, like she bites you so much she'll like wrap her little arms around you.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
not good.
Mommy loves you.
They're
but
love nips, but we have to make it stop, right? Like, yeah.
Mommy loves you, but the biting isn't very nice to her.
Yeah.
We'll get you through that.
So,
for sure.
yeah, we will.
Down.
So for now, her name is Kitty.
No, not for now.
That's it. Okay.
Here's the thing. So I really was like, I got her, and they had named her Beans, which didn't suit her at all.
That doesn't look like her. No.
And it looks like a boy cat name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, she just jumped app and look at this.
Yeah, she's like a little monkey. No.
I caught when Gail sent us the information, she was saying something about how you can't work out, because I had this image in my head, this really pretty image of you writing songs with your
Yeah, I don't think
your
so.
lap.
Not with that cat.
And you're strumming your guitar. I had this really beautiful romantic vision with your cat, and then I found out that like she will have none of it.
My cat is, well, okay, so back to the, right, there's so many things to talk about. So back to the name. Okay, so I bring her home, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll call her, like, and everybody's I have a cat, like, send name suggestions, so I got thousands of people sending me names. I'm like, well, maybe it's, like, going to be Zoe, or, like, Clea, or people are be like, call her Midnight, call her Zelda, call her this, call her that, whatever. And so I tried really hard to call her Zoe, but much like her mother, she's not really like a wallflower, sweet and nice cat. It's more psycho. And so, she really has a couple names. She has like Kitty, 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 Mommy loves you, and then she has Kitty, you know better.
Yes, I like that one.
All mine have nicknames like that too.
In an aggressive Russian accent, it's like Kitty.
I like that you add the Russian. We haven't tried that. We should suggest that in behavior sessions. Have you tried a Russian accent?
She doesn't like
this could be.
But mostly her name is like Kitty, 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 Mommy love you, Mommy love you so much.
It's the depth of the voice. It's not the accent. It's
Well,
when your
no,
voice gets
exactly.
deeper.
Yeah. Oh, my daughter walked in the room earlier and looked at me and said, "Who were you talking to?" And I pointed to the orange cat on the bed and went, "Galway." What do you mean, who am I talking to? Of course I'm talking
to them
Cat.
too.
I've taken a lot of flack. I'll show you her little name tag. See, it says Kitty. That's well.
Kitty.
Pretty good.
I think
She
that's
just
a
wants to
perfect
bite, bite.
She is just, yeah.
Jealous of the fact that I'm talking.
Yeah,
to
we
you.
definitely need to talk because that's not good.
Yeah, she just wants your attention so bad. She's so obsessed with you. She loves you so much.
So she has a name tag. It says Kitty. I've taken a lot from people being like, and what did you name your cat, Callie? I'm like, her name is Kitty. That's her name. It suits
You're
her.
not the only one.
Exactly.
We
Yes.
ran a cat's only pet sitting business for a lot of years, and we had lots of Kitty, Miss Kitty, Mr. Kitty. We had a
Well,
lot.
her name is sometimes Miss Kitty, as in like Kitty Wells,
Mm-hmm.
like Kitty Wells, or like, should have been a cowboy, Miss Kitty. Have you ever thought about that?
Yes.
So her name is Kitty with a few country music things, and also she's just a little bit of a psychopath. So
Oh, well,
Well, see, it fits in, It
Yeah.
fits
That
in with the
happens,
country
yeah.
music. I
Yeah.
like her name being Kitty.
we lost our train of thought for a hot minute there. We were talking about the name. We were talking about something else. So Kitty does not partake in any work processes. Now, when Mommy has co-writers over, Kitty kind of steals the show for the first 30
I could see
minutes. And like she'll get their attention, but I'll just open the front door and she'll look out the glass door window. She'll kind of sit there and nap and like it, but I do have the studio in the house, and I can't let her in there because she'll chew everything.
Sure,
Right.
would.
I'm kind of like, if I need to buckle down and work, I'll go in the studio, I'll shut the door. She'll sit outside the door and cry, but like,
That was my next question. You already answered. Thank you. Yes. And then what happens?
it breaks my heart. But she's getting a bit more independent. Like she used to, and of course, when she was just such a baby, I just didn't have the heart.
Well, yeah, she's a kitten, and as she grows older, she'll grow out of some of that behavior. But if you don't curb the biting now, she'll never stop.
Yeah, we have to work on the bite.
Yeah, we're going to work on it.
I think we need to take a break for our next sponsor, and then we'll be right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back with 19 Cats and Counting with my awesome co-host Linda Hall and a beautiful and talented Callie McCullough
She is
and her
cute
kitty,
as a button.
Kitty.
Look at this.
Their cat will not stop. She's just like, I want attention. Quit talking to
see
those
what
ladies.
you're doing there? You're feeding right into it. Your hands look like prey to her. It feels good to her to bite, because that's what they do with prey. They bite down. That's what she wants to do.
It does. She actually hunts me in the house. So
I believe it.
I'll be in bed and she'll start talking like, Mummy is not your prey.
I love it.
I'm like, Mummy is not your prey. She's a very strong prey instinct. Like in the summer, she was hunting flies in the house and stuff like that. And she's a huntress. She actually, my cat, I thought I was getting a sweet kitten, but actually I adopted a baby panther. She is a panther. And actually, this guy came, they were doing one of these alarm code update things they had to do. Yeah. They were messaging, ADT's messaging me for a year. We have to update your thing. So finally we get this thing booked. Guy shows up at 8 a.m. Ugh. Not so good English. I'm there in the house coat with the cat. First word out of his mouth, not hi, how are you, what's going on? It's just, cat this panther. Then goes on to explain to me that he has a fixation with panthers. He's obsessed with panthers, has all these photos of panthers. And then I realized he's actually wearing a shirt with a panther on it. Anyway, he loves him. And there's a table in the entryway, right under the alarm. She sits there and is loving on him for half an hour. Literally opens the door. Cat this panther.
Surprised he didn't try to take the cat with him. Gotta go in toolbox. Cat in toolbox.
And no, but she's a baby panther and she's a huntress. This cat could survive in the wild.
Probably.
Oh yeah. Her hunting instincts are right on. So when are we gonna get a song out of you about cats?
That's a good question.
It could be any day now.
I want it.
You provide the herbal substances and the day of downtime and
you bring her on stage with you, she's gonna upstage you. That's the thing.
So Kitty does go on the road, and now we're just starting to get back to touring. But I've been doing a lot of travel. I just did a handful of shows, and then I'll travel for we just came back from the Country Music Awards in Canada, which is where I'm from. And so, I take her with me for all of that stuff. She's a great traveler. She enjoys the hotel life, just like Mommy.
Wonderful, right? Who doesn't? I can't blame her.
If you ever come to the Carolinas, you have to let me know. Oh, I live right near Charlotte.
You're near Charlotte, and you are near.
I'm near Toledo, Ohio, or
I go there all the time.
All right. Nice. Come on, girl. Come on.
I'll bring my cat to your collection, and we'll see.
I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready.
I'm originally from Ontario, just right above Michigan.
I grew up in Buffalo.
I'm originally from Michigan, so yeah. When people talk about Canada it's another country, which yes, I understand that it is. It doesn't feel that way to me.
Me too, because we were right near the Peace Bridge. I grew up in Buffalo, so. Just what we did when we were bored. We went to
my sister
Canada.
And brother-in-law. You could see the bridge from their house in Michigan. So yeah, it was Canada. It's next door. It's just.
Well, and so I know it so well, and so what I know is that the nicest border is Buffalo. So if you're needing to bring in extra merch or putting in a work visa, Buffalo's the time.
Yeah.
But typically I'll cross in Windsor. So my family lives in Stratford, Ontario. Well, sort of. It's interesting. Half of them live in Stratford, home of the Shakespearean Theatre. Otherwise,
yes, fancy schmancy kind of cool stuff, right?
Justin Bieber,
and then there's that. Yeah, well, yeah.
And then the rest of my family lives in a place called the Beaver Valley, if you believe that. Yeah, the Beaver Valley. And sometimes people will be like, you have a Southern accent. I was like, no, that's a Beaver Valley accent.
I did hear you. There was an interview where you were doing with someone, and I caught one word that had a twang, and I thought, wow, is Nashville getting to her? She's from Canada. They don't talk.
Well, I'll tell you, Southern accents are catchy, though. I've been in the South, half my life. It's easy to catch.
But the one for me that really caught on was oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. And oh god, because I remember waiting tables here, and I was like, "How's everything?" It's fine. I'm like, in Canada, somebody's like, "It's fine." That means it's not good.
Exactly.
Oh, so really?
And they're like, "No, it's fine, honey. Them 30 degrees is fine." So but basically, long story short, it's about a straight, 12 to 16 hour drive, depending where you're going home.
Yeah.
I have worn out the I-75 up through Ohio and Toledo, all of it. I know it like the back of my hand. I've stayed at probably every Holiday Inn along that road.
Yeah.
Linda's in a teeny little town no one's ever heard
Yeah,
of.
Defiance. It's about 40 minutes from Toledo. So I just tell everyone Toledo.
You can pick that hometown name. I'm from Defiance, Ohio.
Defiance.
I know, I love that
Defiant.
name, really.
We are defiant.
You really crushed that.
There's a real bloody, ucky history that goes with it, but we won't go there.
So when are you touring and where are you touring? And can people buy tickets to see you?
Yeah, so we don't have anything announced right now. We're working sort of on April forward, as the world has just been like, whoop, whoop, whoop,
Yeah, I know.
No doubt.
Rescheduled the album tour like 3 times. Finally was like, I'm going to sit home with my cat and like wait because I'm tired.
I'm good.
So yeah, dates starting in April.
Okay, great.
Announced kind of probably by February. And it's, a lot of like wineries, listening rooms, that kind of stuff. I did just do a really big show up in my hometown in Stratford, which was beautiful. And we filmed it and doing some stuff with that. But yeah, like, any of those like venues that are like your converted churches, your wineries, your listening stuff. And so we'll see. I think it's going to be a big year. There's been a lot of good stuff happening. So it was just really bizarre. We put this record out right as the world was shutting down. And I frankly was like, did all the online stuff I could do and then just went home and got high. Cause I was like, like, what am I
Every night.
You're my kind of gal.
Let's get together. Let me just check out from all this crap. The world has gone insane.
I owned Just for Cats Pet Sitting for almost 17 years, and Linda was our executive director. And we took the opportunity to sell the business because it was really slow. Nobody was traveling, and concentrate on the cat behavior full time. And what's great about it is we can do that from our house. We don't know the pet.
Yes, we can Zoom. No one's in danger, right?
Right?
Everything's just like this. Yes. Exactly.
And of course, they're home with their pets, so they're going to need to fix the behavior.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're seeing a lot of things they didn't see before. And 3/4 Time just came out in November, right? Last month.
Right, yeah. So
what a cool story. What a cool story.
Tell us about your inspiration for that.
Well, don't we have a story? Three-quarter Time it almost felt like the bonus track on the record because a lot of the record really did have that softer, more easy listening, like alt country, bluegrass. Like I always like, if Norah Jones, Alison Krauss, James Taylor, and Dolly Parton had a child, that would be
right. That's it.
Which wasn't the goal, and I definitely am not like composed enough as a human to do things intentionally, but like. This was my first solo record, and basically what happened was that I've been in Nashville writing songs, and one by one, songs kind of came out that I was like, oh, this is actually me, because I've been in bands. I've been in a Celtic band. I've been in a duo with my mom. I've been in a country band. I've done a lot of touring, a lot of different bands for about 12 years, sort of before I landed here. And I got here. I was 24, and I. It's like, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I know that I'm going to focus on songwriting for a while and was writing for other people. And then, of course, at the time that I got to Nashville, everything was just, so when you say that you don't like country music, if we're referring to new country music, believe me, I hate it too. I hate it so much, it makes my soul die. Okay.
Aww,
so I have a really long and deep love for traditional country music and blues. Like bluegrass music and blues music and folk music.
I love Dolly Parton.
And all of those, sounds that have built the genre and also just different subsets of music. And so at the time I landed in Nashville, it was like the most bro pop, like lyrical lack of intelligence, soul crushing, formulaic crap you've ever heard. And it's moving the way we want it to. It's headed towards the light, but it's a long haul. So I'm doing all these things. And so the record was sort of, like there had been a deal on the table and it was like, oh, but this is going to be your first single. I'm going, no, I don't think it is, and so there had been a lot of things that happened in those years. And I was playing tip jar gigs and I was really broke and I was really fighting hard to be able to make the music that I wanted to make in the way that I wanted to make it and having to say no to a lot of opportunities that it was like, well, you're great, you look great, you sing great, blah, 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 but you need to do, this is the thing you have to do if we're going to be able to get behind you, push you, sell you, this is the formula, get in it or get out. And so you're sitting there and you can't pay your phone bill and your car's breaking down and your tip jar gig.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
And you go, but if I do this, I might as well go die inside. So,
Yeah.
you know, the story of this record was like really me and my friends being like, well, we can do this ourselves. We have the songs. We know who to call. Like, let's make the record we want to make. I paid for it, like with my tip jar gigs. And it took a long time to get it done. And then we had a lot of amazing people come on board, guys from, you know, Alison Krauss's band Union Station and a Grammy-winning Western swing band called the Time Jumpers. And, you know, we had sent them the music and kind of convinced them to come make this record collectively. And then the producer, Dustin Olian, and I, you know, we'd all been friends and kind of come up together, all new kids in town. He produced it. Him and I made a couple of the tracks just completely by ourselves in his home studio. And, you know, we did this thing with the record. So anyways, most of it was just really soft tone. And 3/4 Time is the story of making that record, of my first years in Nashville, of the struggle and the fight that I felt to be able to do what I wanted to do.
Sure.
Yes.
But when you're true to your vision, people get behind you more because you can really motivate people to believe in you if you believe in yourself that deeply.
In all of your songs, they're very deep and personal. So Rita and I were discussing this before you got on. I was like, I don't know what that, I mean, some of it's just heart-wrenching and you can just feel it. Like, I remember the first time I was in the car with my sister and she was singing. I was probably about 12 because I think she had just gotten her driver's license, and she sang a song that made me cry. It was the first song that ever made me cry. And I don't remember the song. I just remember it touching me. And all of your songs are like that. They're so personal. They paint a picture. They tell a story and you live it. Like when you watch a movie and you're so in it that you swear like that's your guy, right? Like, and you know, I can feel every second of it. And that's super cool, but that's got to take a heck of a lot out of you, babe. I just don't know.
You know, so it's so interesting. And so I have 2 stories about that. So 3/4 Time was like my giant FU, right? And so when we put the record out, the whole world shut down. And then, you know, a year and a half later, the record's being nominated for Canadian Country Music Awards and things are happening. So I said, all right, this is kind of the last chance we have with this record. It's been out and we had released, you know, 3 singles from the record leading up to it. And that was all great because the world was still open and everything was lovely. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, this is the time I want to do one more push with this record. And this is what I want to say before I move on to the next project. And so I was able to kind of pull all things together. So we have this really hilarious music video coming out in January. And, you know, the chord, it's like, it's funny. I get to be sassy in it, which, you know.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. You have to let us know when it's out.
Oh, Gail will send it to you.
Oh, good.
You can get like the preview on it, but it's not really.
I'm excited. Yeah. And, we'll keep it just between us.
You know, I get to do like the eye roll sass and just like the whole scene that is playing downtown Nashville, because it's very much a struggle for artists. And what people don't understand is like bands are actually playing for tips. So one night I used to have this gig at the George Jones Museum, and I turned up a tip jar, and under the 20s, 5s, 10s, and 1s is a nickel and 4 pennies, 9 cents, not a dime. So I sat down the next day with my 2 friends, Ryan Sorstad and Scotty Kipper, who I actually accidentally wrote the whole album with, because those just happened to be the songs that were like, I was able to put the most of myself in them when I was writing with these guys. And so we sit down, we had an appointment to write. I'm in my roommate, who was super weird, had a life-size Homer Simpson doll in his condo. Like, I have no idea why.
We don't want to know.
No, like, and the whole living room was like decked out in like in like Steelers gear, which is cool. So he was like a sports teacher dude. So he was never there during the day, and I was never there at night. So I never ever saw him.
Oh, that works.
So he says, like, we're sitting there with this Homer Simpson doll in like this like bro sports living room, and I was like, guys, like somebody put 9 cents in my tip jar last night. Like, what is my life? You know, and we just started spitballing. We wrote this song, and we were like, no one's ever gonna let us sing this in public. And I was like, well, you haven't met me, right? Like, and the song, it kind of, and I say this with songs, and the other song that is the most personal, you know, 3/4 Time is my Nashville story, and $5 Pearls is my personal story.
Yes.
When we were in Tennessee, what was that? The
Bluebird.
The Bluebird. We went to the Bluebird. That was a lot
really
of fun.
Neat experience. Again, we went. A friend of ours used to watch the show that it was it Nashville that Bluebird Cafe was on?
Yeah, it was Nashville.
She was like, we have to go. And Rita and I are both like, we're not big country music fans. So what the heck? Let's go out. Well, you know, we'll chill. And
There was some great talent.
Yes, and I got that feeling from you. It was a personal vibe. It was a story. It was, I enjoyed the heck out of that night.
I did too.
I really, really did. Yes.
See, so we really don't hate country music.
Yeah.
It's just the right country music.
I like good country music. And I will say this record actually isn't particularly country because it's actually so country we can't call it country anymore. And so, what I say with, when we talk about songs being personal and that taking a lot out of you to share it with the world, is sort of in the aftermath of that, with the wisdom of a few years later, I've learned something because, starting out as a young solo artist, that was the first time that it was like my vulnerability, not a band. It's my story. I was out there, my face, my name on the sign. People are coming to see just me. Then that's been kind of the first time, right? It's always been being part of an entity, and you hide behind that to an extent.
Yes.
And you take on a persona. And with this record especially, and with these songs, in hindsight, what I've learned is that you put the most vulnerable personal pieces of yourself into the world in these songs, right? But as you go out and you play them, and as people learn them and learn them as pieces of you, what actually happens, these songs kind of like are babies that grow up and they become your armor and they protect you, and they become what you're known for. So 3/4 Time became like my theme song in Nashville. They were like, oh yeah, that's Callie. She's going to burn down country music.
You've got to stay true to yourself.
And $5 Pearls really became like what got me known as a singer in Nashville, a very specific type of vocal. And so they become the thing that protects you the most, like after being the most just personal thing.
And it becomes other people's story. I was listening to Missing You. And I was widowed in 2002, and I'm remarried, and he's wonderful. But you carry that with you forever. And then I lost my son-in-law a little over a year ago, passed from COVID. And so, yeah. And I was listening, and the big open rooms and the empty house, and I'm sobbing. And it was my story now, not your story. I was seeing Dan, and I was seeing Sebastian.
That's why people enjoy your music, though, is that they can relate to it on a personal level.
The connection, yes. Totally wasn't your song anymore. It was my song and my story. I stole it.
Yeah. Songwriters, as much as see my cat's in heat, she's literally climbing the wall.
Poor baby.
I know. Mommy understands.
Right? Like been there, done that. Yeah.
And, as songwriters, as much as we do, when you start writing to the point where you're writing all the time, as a personal standpoint for myself as an artist, yes, I'm always needing to tell my story, but we're also telling stories that belong to people and stories that people can relate to, right? Like you want people to connect. Like the goal of music there's two things. One, I can't not do it. Like it's like having a mental illness. You're like, well, I'm stuck with this thing. If I could do something that like paid the bills more solidly, I probably would have done that.
Right.
I'm not allowed to put it down. Like it's a thing you've been given. You can't help yourself.
I understand. Yeah.
But the other thing is, to me, aside from the fact that I physically cannot not do it, the goal of music is connection. That's the whole point. Like we're trying to connect with people. We're trying to I want to go out there and connect, whether that's 50 people or 500 or 5,000.
And stories are how we connect. We use stories all the time in what we do.
Yeah, that's when we do behavior sessions. I like to work with analogies. Like I like to.
I see a little tail there.
I like to connect with stories and make analogies. This is
I saw
this.
That.
And, yes, get the connection. After Midnight, I have to say, is my favorite.
Thank you.
That is like the jam. I had that.
That's the one I was listening to just
kept
before.
playing. Yeah, because I said that was my favorite. Yeah, listen to this. I had it looping on Alexa.
So, and After Midnight became the title track of the record, and the song was written kind of in an oddball way. So I was supposed to drive home. I was home in Canada for Christmas. And at this point, I had just the lemon of lemons of minivans. Like every time I had $100, it knew and it broke with a problem. Like it
sounds like my car.
It was psycho. And it was this had to be, I want to say 2015 maybe. And it was, or 2016 maybe. It was like the snowstorm of all hell broke loose. I was supposed to drive back through Buffalo, Peace Bridge, do my work visa, do the whole thing, and every road was closed. And also I've totaled 7 cars. I'm not a great driver. And my My family's like, listen, hard no, you're staying here for an extra 4 days. The storm has got to be done before you hit the road. So my friend Scotty, who's in Nashville part-time, also happens to live 30 minutes up the road from my family in Canada. I was like, hey, Scotty, like, I'm going to be stuck here for a week. I don't have snow tires because I live in Tennessee now.
Right.
Why don't you come to my dad, both my parents were full-time musicians and then also did other things. My dad has a recording studio in my hometown. And I said, why don't you just come to my dad's studio? We'll get into the wine. We'll chill out. We'll eat some food. We'll try and see if we can write something because I'm here, right?
Yeah.
And so it really all started out like there's this majestic Gordon Lightfoot style snowfall happening in Stratford, Ontario, Canada, and it's all beautiful. Scotty brings a case of red wine. And like we were talking about this, when you get so just deeply involved in a movie, right? Scotty goes, I think we should watch Midnight in Paris. So we watch Midnight in Paris with like 3 bottles of red wine and we got on the floor of the studio around 4 a.m. And I was like, so I have this melody idea I've been sitting on for a while, and it was like the da 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 da, and he kind of gets that Parisian thing going, and we wrote the song like really quickly.
Wow!
And it became the title track of the record, and we were able because of the incredible musicians we were able to have, and Dustin's production, and Scotty's vision, and all of us kind of collaborating. We brought it to life with those accordions and violins, as if you're really strolling through the streets of Paris after midnight. That's how that song happened. It was a total fluke, like snowstorm.
It was meant to happen though.
It's just I don't know, it's a feel good song, not like a super happy, but it took me with and it was just we
are way over.
Are we way
time.
over? Darn,
way over on
Mark's
time.
gonna have at us, but
so Callie, how can people find you? How can they hear your music?
So the record After Midnight is available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, everywhere that music is sold. You can buy hard copies off of my website, which is www.calliemccullough.com. And on all of my social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff, you can follow me and half of my posts being about my cat. It's called at Callie MC Music. So that's how you
Callie MC Music.
We'll put all this in the links below when we post it on YouTube.
Yes. And we'll be watching for your schedule.
We will send you the Calendly link. I guess we'll send it to Gail so you can schedule a behavior session with us.
Yes.
We will. I guess we should wait to find out if Kitty's pregnant or not.
Yeah.
She's supposed to get nude. She's supposed to get spayed tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow's our big day. Either getting spayed or she's coming home so mommy can prepare for her baby. And I can't tell you which result I'm hoping for.
Look what's she doing. She's
apologies to anyone listening to this on the podcast that cannot see because it's really funny. You need to
make sure you check. If you're listening to this on Pet Life Radio, make sure you check our YouTube in about a week and the video will be up.
Yeah.
Now she's gonna knock over your lamp now. Oh my god.
She's really into it. Yeah.
We need to let you go be cat mom. Thank you.
Oh, Callie, I could have talked to you all day, honey. All day.
Could have talked all day, and so the interesting thing is that Gail, who connected us, is a fellow cat lady.
Yay!
Right? That's awesome.
Exchange cat photos.
That's awesome.
She did say that if Kitty was pregnant, that they were going to take one of her babies.
I
would, but I have 18 cats. I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to get below 11, but I don't know. Right? You got to fill that 19th hole that made me laugh.
You can't take another one because you'll be in divorce court.
I really think I'll be served with divorce papers if I bring a 12th cat into the house. 11 cats and a chihuahua. And seriously, my husband's been amazing about it, but I really know that we're at the end. Like,
it's my dream.
I still think it's a TV show.
Them all?
Linda and her 11 cats, her husband, her daughter, and son need to move in here, and we could just be one big sitcom.
There you go. We would be a good reality show.
We definitely would. We definitely would. We could stand to live together for 1 year under the same roof.
Heck yeah. Oh,
look at her. Look at her looking at you. She loves you.
Baby. She loves mommy so much.
We need to have you on again.
And she bites.
We need to have you on again for sure, and then we need to have you on after we correct all these wonderful behaviors that she's doing right now.
And yeah, when you get tour dates, you get a new song, whatever, we're gonna have you back because I got so
When
much
that
more to talk
cat
about.
song comes out,
Yes. We've been wanting a cat theme song.
We didn't even get to, I know we have to go, but so my new obsession, this 2-minute anecdote, is cat music. Because my sister, also a cat lady, was like, well, have you tried calming her down with cat music? And
have you gone to musicforcats.com and relaxmycat.com?
Right, so I put all the cat music, but the story about the cat music is that now I listen to cat music in the bathtub because it's better than people spa music.
No, it's calming.
So I'm in the studio with my friends and we're cutting a bunch of demos all summer. I was like, guys, have you heard of cat music? Because I really think I could get into making cat music, and then in it I would just be like, good kitty.
Well, let's do it. You need to do it.
Actually, the guy that makes music for cats, David Tye, we had him on our podcast.
And
so
we
we'll
also
just
had
get a hold of him and be like,
cat guy too.
We got somebody to do the vocals with your cat. Yes, and Relax My Cat, I'm on a med. Yes, so yeah.
It's
we'll be like, I got your vocals for you. You do the music. She'll do the vocals.
I'll just, sit in there and be like,
hey, we need somebody to sing our theme song.
Yes, we keep saying we got to come up with a theme song. So
hit me up.
It's your job. Write a kitty song for us for our theme song.
Oh, you haven't written it. I thought, well, if you write it, we could do it. But
we are in the middle of writing 134,400 kitties.
We could do it in exchange for kitty behavior.
There you go. Now that's a plan, baby. That sounds like a deal. We got you on video.
Love quid pro quo. If I don't leave now, Mark's gonna kill me because he's gonna go, how am I gonna edit this to 30 minutes?
All right, wrap us up, Rita.
I know. Thank you so much, Callie and Linda, of course. And, of course, Mark Winter, who gave us our shot on Pet Life Radio so we could meet all these awesome people. And don't forget, every day is Catterday. We'll see you next time.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.